Oh, sweet summer child, Meaghan, no. Hey y'all, if you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome aboard. So let's talk about pluff mud. That's probably just brought everyone in. I'm sure everyone is interested in this story now, Meg. Cameron and I were thinking this week about maybe going to Hilton Head sometime this year, because we've never been. And that reminded me, a year or two ago, my parents went to Hilton Head and they had an adventure. And I just need to share this adventure with you because my family has a habit, it's not a great habit, of endangering themselves in very strange ways. At some point I'll have to do other stories, I guess, about how my mom tried to unalive herself with a pogo stick, not intentionally, obviously. Things like that. My sister has almost cut her entire finger off. Some of them get kind of graphic, so maybe I won't go into too many details. This one is not too graphic. So let's talk about my dad and the pluff mud. A little bit of backstory, because I'm going to read the texts that my mom sent me back in the day when they went. And there's a reference to something that was from a gazillion years ago. When I went to Sanibel for the first time when I was maybe 6 or 7, it was a long time ago. I stepped on an oyster shell and I cut my foot. And I called it sushi foot because, here's the most graphic that we're gonna get, because I could like pull my foot, like the meat of it, apart and like look down in there and it looked like sliced like tuna to me. So I called it sushi foot. Anyway, that's as graphic as we're getting, so that is the backstory. She texts me from Hilton Head and she says, look up pluff mud. Your father got up close and personal today. And I've never heard of pluff mud. I wasn't even sure how to pronounce pluff mud until I looked it up. I'll put the description here on the screen for you so you can read that too. For 90s children who grew up on a steady diet of Looney Tunes, you know, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner and Elmer Fudd and all of that, I expected quicksand to be a much bigger deal in my real life than it has turned out to be. So this is the closest that I have a personal connection to anything like quicksand. I said, are you telling me that Daddy got stuck in smelly quicksand? Is that what you're telling me right now? And she said, oh, it was a whole moment. To which I responded, well, did he like lose a shoe or something? I'm thinking that he stepped in this stuff and it just sucked his shoe off. No. Oh, sweet summer child, Meaghan, no. She said he didn't have any shoes on, hence the sushi foot. We were over an oyster bed. My sister now chimes in and she's like, I didn't know he had cut his foot. What are y'all talking about? How did this happen? Please give some backstory. At this point, I just pick up the phone and I call my mom. I'm like, I'm gonna need you to stop typing and speak words into the telephone for me, because I need to know, is Daddy like in the hospital? Is Daddy outside of the quicksand? Do we need to call somebody? Do I need to get the National Guard? And she says, oh no, he's fine. He'd taken his water shoes off because he was getting blisters because the sand was rubbing. So he took his water shoes off and he was just walking barefoot. Strike number 1. And how pluff mud works is if you just keep moving with like little short choppy steps and you keep the surface area kind of good, you need a lot of surface area. It's like if you had snowshoes, you'd be good. As long as you're taking little short choppy steps, you're okay. But if you take a big step and your weight hits on that foot, and then you start to sink. So my mom is taking these little short choppy steps, mainly because my mom is little. So she's just like taking these little short steps and she's good. My dad takes a big step and his foot gets sucked. And then when he starts to like kind of try to pull it, he steps and his other foot now is... So he is now suctioned into the ground, and the more he fights, the lower he goes. My dad is sinking into this mud. There's oyster shells underneath it, so he's trying to get himself back up, all the while stomping on these sharp shells, cutting his feet. My mom is trying to help pull him out, but my mom can't get too close because then she'll be trapped as well. So she's trying to be far enough away and grab my dad and like yank on him so that he can hopefully slide out of this mud. Is anyone getting flashbacks to the 8 Mile Hike story that I told, where we were just like a colossal hot mess in a river? That's what it made me think of. If you haven't seen that, I will link it down in the description for you if you want to check out more of my family being a catastrophe in nature. He's trying to like wade his way out, just like taking these little like short kicks of his legs, and he can't get out, and my mom doesn't want to get sucked in. So he has to finally, to get out, what he has to do is kind of just flop onto his belly. Just, you know, he's sunk up to like his knees at this point. He has to just kind of flop onto his belly and then wiggle until he can get his legs out, and then kind of like walrus it out of the pluff mud. And I know what you're thinking. Was there not anyone around to help? There were people around, but not that could help. There was a little older couple and they were just watching wide-eyed. Absolute shock and awe at this whole scene that was happening. So my dad, with his bloody bare feet, flops out of the pluff mud, gets up, and then they proceeded to take teeny tiny little snowshoe steps out of the pluff mud and back up to the dry sand. All of this is to say, if I do go to Hilton Head, I will A, keep my water shoes on, B, probably not go near the pluff mud, and C, my parents can't go out in public anymore. They just can't. That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have you interacted with pluff mud? Is this, I mean, it sounds like the strangest thing that I've ever heard of in real life. So if you've interacted with it, did you have a similar experience, or were you able to maintain your composure a little bit better than my family? Let me know down below. And if you've been to Hilton Head, let me know some fun things to do if we end up going. I want to check out some stuff. So I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.